a huge box. Whoa! What came in such a big box?
I'm not sure.
Are there any writings on it? Can you see?
Camping furniture. This must have been a dad's chair.
Oh, yeah. You guys will get to see him at the next Park and Praise.
Yeah.
Dad got a chair for his birthday. It's pretty big. Pretty cool.
You know, I have this huge box, but you know what I really want?
What do you really want, Emma?
I wish I had a little red box.
Why do you need a little red box?
Well, I'll sing it to you.
Okay.
I wish I had a little red box to put my good friends in. I'd take them out and put them in the box again. I wish I had a little red box to put my bad friends in. I'd take them out and pray for them and put them in the box again. I wish I had a little red box to put my devil in. I'd take him out and throw him in the garbage can. I wish I had a little red box to put my Jesus in. I'd take him out and walk with him and never put him back again.
That's very fun.
That was fun.
Thanks for teaching me.
Oh, that's
It'll
fun.
take a minute.
You're welcome.
Well, I'll see you later. Have fun with your book.
Today's story is Jesus' Wonderful Miracles. In his lifetime, Jesus worked many miracles. His first miracle took place at a wedding. He and his mother had been invited to the wedding of some friends. Several of his followers went with him. Before the wedding was over, all the wine had been drunk. This made the newly married couple unhappy. Mary, the mother of Jesus, asked him if he could help. Jesus pointed to 6 large jars. "Fill those with water," Jesus said, "then pour some and drink it." Everyone was surprised. The water had been changed to wine. It was a happy wedding after all. Sometime later, a rich man stopped Jesus in the street. "My son is very ill," the man cried. "Please come and see him before he dies." Jesus replied, "Return home. Your son will live." The man was so happy when he arrived home. His son was already better. Another miracle Jesus performed was in Bethsaida. Bethsaida had a pool. Its water was thought to cure sick people. Jesus saw a lame man there. "I cannot reach the pool," the man said sadly. "Get up," said Jesus. "Pick up your bed and walk." The man had not walked for many years. Suddenly, he found he could walk. When the lame man turned to thank Jesus, Jesus had gone. In those days, the land where Jesus lived was ruled by the city of Rome. The people who lived there did not like the Romans. One day, a Roman officer called to Jesus. "My faithful servant is dying," the officer told Jesus. "I believe that only you can save him." It was strange that a Roman officer would ask anyone for help. Jesus was pleased because the Roman officer believed in him. "You have faith in me," Jesus said. "Your servant will be healed." Even as he spoke, the servant back home sat up in bed. He was better. Jesus then went to see the mother-in-law of his friend Peter. She had a bad fever. As soon as Jesus touched her hand, Peter's mother-in-law rose from her bed. The fever had gone. A few days later, Jesus was walking with his followers. A woman touched his robe. Jesus turned around. "I have been ill for 12 years, she said. "Please cure me." "You are cured because you trust in me," Jesus said. At once, the woman was well again. Peter was a fisherman and a follower of Jesus. Once, he and his friends spent a night fishing. They caught nothing. Next morning, Jesus came by. "Put out your nets again," said Jesus. Suddenly, their nets were so full of fish, they could only just pull them in. Jesus had worked another miracle. Jesus once cured 10 men of leprosy. This illness could not be cured. As soon as they were cured, 9 men went to tell the priests. The priests were the enemies of Jesus. Only 1 man stayed to thank Jesus. At another time, a dead boy was carried past Jesus. His mother was crying. This made Jesus sad. "Arise," he said quietly to the boy. The boy opened his eyes and came to life. His happy mother thanked Jesus over and over again. One day, Jesus came to the town of Bethsaida. There, he met a blind man. The man reached out his hands. Jesus touched him. "I can see! I see men! They look like trees!" The man cried. Jesus touched the man again. "Now, I can see everything clearly," said the man. So Jesus went on his way, moving from one city to another, performing one miracle after another. Soon, everyone was talking about him and pointing to him as he passed. Sometimes he would be invited into a house to eat a meal and teach. Once he was in a house when a big crowd gathered outside. Suddenly, a man on a stretcher was lowered through a hole in the ceiling. The man could not walk, and this was the only way his friend could get him into the house. Jesus touched him. "Arise," Jesus said. Everyone gasped when the man stood up. The man who had been crippled thanked Jesus and walked home. It was yet another miracle. Jesus had traveled far. He was very tired. He and his followers decided to cross the Sea of Galilee. There they could rest quietly. However, many people had followed them. Some were already waiting for them. Although Jesus was tired, he spoke for many hours. How kind he was. 5,000 people listened to him. They were all very hungry, but they were far from town. What could they eat? They had only 5 loaves of bread and 2 fishes. Jesus took the loaves and fishes. He blessed them. Then he broke them into small pieces. "Now feed the people," Jesus said to his followers. Many times they came back for more food. At last, all the 5,000 people had been fed. 12 baskets of food were left. It was amazing. Jesus now wanted to pray alone. He told his followers to cross the sea and wait for him. No sooner had they set out than a great storm blew up. It seemed as though the boat would sink. Jesus saw the danger. He walked across the water toward the boat. His followers were afraid. "Was it a ghost?" Jesus called out to them. Peter shouted, "If it is really you, help me to walk on the water too." "Then come," Jesus said. Peter got out of the boat. He started to sink. Jesus grasped him and walked him back to the boat. "You should have more faith in me," he smiled as the storm died away. All of these appear in the pages of the story. Can you find them? I'm going to show these pages now so that as we read, you can go back and see if you can find the people in your story. So we just learned about a lot of the different miracles that Jesus did, and as we can see, there are so many. So our challenge this week is for you to pick one and to maybe draw a picture about it, make a little play, make a song, do whatever you like. But pick a miracle and tell us what you like most about it. We'll try and see you guys next week.